I'm here with Rima Kawas, who has advised global leaders on democracy and governance, which has required her to reach across the aisle on political issues. Rima, you're teaching here at the Humphrey School and in your work around constructive dialogue. Can you talk about how you bring that into the classroom?
Yes, thank you so much for having me and just being able to talk about a topic that I feel so passionately about. And really my experience in bringing it to the classroom really stems from my experience working at the Minnesota State Capitol early in my career, where I was a senior policy advisor to a governor and also led the legislative affairs department at a state agency as well.
That's a big job, Rima.
Yeah, and it was amazing. I had many different issue areas, and so being able to work on various policy issues, having to work with legislators, both Democrats and Republicans across the aisle, and trying to always come up with compromise. I feel so fortunate that early in my career I had that experience because it allowed me to learn how to navigate different conversations.
How to build that muscle.
Absolutely, and it is exactly it. It is a muscle, and you need to practice it in order to be able to do it. And so I try to bring that experience both in the work I do globally, but then also in the classroom as well.
Awesome.
So there's three key areas I would say that really need to be focused on in regards to constructive dialogue.
Okay.
And the first really is trust.
Okay.
And what I mean by trust is starting out any relationship with really understanding and being curious about the person that's in front of you. So I would do that when I would work with a state legislator, walk into their office, the governor's office is coming, maybe they weren't happy to see me, but the first thing I would do is like, hey, how are you? How's your family? And try to get to know them on a personal level, because I was genuinely interested in them.
Yes.
Not about the office they held, not about the position, but them as a person. And I think that genuine feeling comes across.
So how does that play out in the classroom?
Yes, so I think the key piece to that in the classroom is doing the same with your students. Understanding them. So the first day of class, the first thing I had was name placards for the students to get to know each other and the students to get to know me. And then asking them to introduce themselves, to talk about their background, and why did they even take the class? What was about this class that was interesting to them?
Yes.
And throughout that whole semester, really getting to know them more and more, so that during class, throughout the different classes, I could ask specific questions knowing more about their background as well.
So I'm hearing trust.
Yep.
And that's through curiosity.
Yes.
It's getting to know them
Yes.
as people.
Yes.
And perhaps not as titles.
Yes.
Right? But
Yes.
as people.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that is so important. The second is debate. And that debate is so good. I think sometimes debate gets a bad rap.
Debate's a little hard, Rima.
It's hard, and that's the beauty of it. It's supposed to be hard. There's supposed to be a tension. In a democracy, there's supposed to be tension. If it's easy, that to me is a red flag.
Okay.
If something is easy to get through, it's a red flag to me. Because I'm like, well, where's the opposition?
So that's like the muscle building.
Yes.
Because if we don't have tension building muscle,
That's
we're not
right.
actually building muscle.
That's exactly
okay,
right.
so tell me more about debate.
Yes, so debate is like a key piece. So if I'm working with a civil society organization in another country, for example, I don't care about the issues that they're thinking about. We're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about how do you advocate for your issue. Again, it's not about the issue, it's about the process. And I think democracy is all about that process and making sure opposition and supporters have an opportunity to share that voice. So in the classroom, I try to bring that experience back. So when we're talking about key issues, I pose the questions like, all right, so now, should the US be funding this type of work or not? And if everyone's like, yes, well, why? Let's talk about that.
Yes.
And then try to provide those counterpoints that maybe those that don't support this type of work, what they think about it. And so I really try to bring out that counter to everything, because recognizing I also have a bias because I do the work I do, right? And so I always want to try to make it more of a neutral zone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you know, because we all know all of the Hubert Humphrey quotes.
Yes.
Hubert Humphrey said that freedom is hammered out on the anvil of dialogue, dissent, and debate.
Yes.
And so here's, Hubert Humphrey coming in 2025, highlighting the same notion of debate that you noted here.
Yes, exactly. And then the third thing is listening and being humble. And I think listening and humility is connected. And what I mean by that is when you are just talking to an individual, and again, flexing that muscle, start practicing. Don't be distracted by your phones, even within your families. Don't look around and you're looking for someone else to talk to, but listen, because the debates, you need to listen. build trust, you need to listen. And be humble enough to maybe think that maybe I don't know it all. Maybe I could learn from someone, or at minimum, at least learn where they're coming from or why they might have that perspective. I don't need to necessarily be offended. I could just let them be, but also just be humble enough to kind of be willing to learn. And so I try to bring that into the classroom as well, of just really thinking about how to listen and allow the students to provide opportunities to share and what they're hearing from the speakers that we have, for example.
Wonderful. Oh, Rima, what a special time this is. Thank you. Thank you. So my takeaways,
Yes.
as I've been listening, around how you bring constructive dialogue into your teaching focuses on trust, building trust, embracing debate, and then listening with a spirit of humility.
Yes.
Thank you, Rima.
Yeah. Thank you.